Wow, what is up guys? It has been absolutely ages since I have posted anything on this channel, with good reason, but I won't bore you with them for now. But I am in a position once again to start uploading vids once a week, so yeah, that should be good. Just a quick little plug, me and Tommy Roberts, some of you probably have heard of him, he's like the #1 ranked player in the UK this year, but yeah, we've decided to start our own website. It's basically like the Poker Beach for competitive players, so I'm guessing it will suit you all because you come to my channel to watch some battle vids. So it's basically a news site, and we will update you anytime there's any new interesting card news or tournament news, anything like that. And yeah, it's just a great portal for competitive players to get all the information they need without having to have like 10 different tabs open. So yeah, definitely check it out. It's www.pokerscoop.com, and yeah, please check it out. And I will be uploading a proper video, advertising it obviously sometime soon. But yeah, we've only just got started, so it'll be great to get a larger viewer base basically. So yeah, on to the match. This is me versus Ben, and I am playing a kind of weird Donphan toolbox. It's got like a 2-2 Zoraka, 1-1 Yamega, Zekrom, Reshiram, just loads of things to try and reduce the number of bad matchups my Donphan has. And it worked quite well for me. It went 4-0 at a UK celebration event, beating Carblake in the final. And its only real bad matchup is anything with Samurott in it, to be honest, and I did actually have to play against the Samurott Donphan deck, and I went 2-0 against it, so I still think the deck's really solid. Ben is playing Embor Macargo, which is a pretty interesting deck that Tommy first brought to light to me, and he saw the potential in Macargo, and it's a very, very solid deck, which doesn't really have many bad matchups, to be honest, so we had to go building it, and this is what we came up with. So Ben gets to go first, and he gets a very good setup. He's got a Slugma and Vulpix, and he manages to collect her for another Slugma and the Tepig and Reshiram that he's going to need. He makes a very, very big misplay here. He communicates early on to get a Ninetales ready for next turn, when really he should have left that communication in his hand, because as you can see, he uses active Volcano to get a fire energy onto the Slugma, attaches another fire energy, and he has access to evolving into, well no, he doesn't get access to evolving into Macargo for the Donk, which he would have had if he left the communication in his hand last turn and didn't get the Ninetales. So there he is, sitting with an active Slugma with 3 energies, and he can only do 40 to me. And I top deck amazingly, and I get the collector to make this a match more than anything. And I go ahead and search for my Zora, Phanpy, and Smeargle. And I use Smeargle just as communication fodder to get the Donphan to knock out that Slugma. And for those of you who are wondering about Smeargle, I have my reasons. I generally prefer Cleffa for other decks, but not for this deck. So I go ahead and attach a fighting energy to Phanpy and take out the Slugma, which is pretty crucial because that's 3 energies gone. But Ben does have the twins in hand, so maybe he was just trying to bait me to knock out the Slugma by attaching another energy, I don't know. But yeah, he goes ahead and gets his 2 cards. We'll probably see what that's going to be, and yes, it's probably a rare candy Embor. He goes for active Volcano, fails it, Pokemon Communication, which isn't too bad for him. Thins his deck as well of not as useful cards, I guess. So it's my turn now. I don't have much to do, so all I can really do is attach a fighting energy to Zora and Earthquake. I play a mix of Phanpys. I play 3 Heart Gold Soul Silver and 1 Horde Legends, merely because I prefer the Heart Gold Soul Silver one, but I do understand the importance of having at least one Horde Legend one, because it's useful mid-game, just to really like make sure that you don't take too much damage on your bench if you can't get another Donphan out. So his turn, he gets his fully powered up Reshiram, and he's debating whether to just outrage or just go for the blue flare. Outrage wouldn't kill me, but it would mean that I'd have to attack him again, and it would power off his outrage again. But he makes the right decision, and definitely the right decision, because I do have a plus power in my hand to get the one hit KO. So I use the plus power, and I believe I copycat. I use copycat. The only reason I really have copycat in this deck is A, it's added consistency, and B, I do have that 1/1 mega line, so it's useful. It's useful for that. I mean, it's weird having the 1/1 line, but it did serve its purpose in the tournament. So I go ahead and bench that Yanma, attach another fight energy to Zora, so now that's ready once I get the Zoroark, which I believe I get off prizes. I can't quite remember. But anyway, Ben goes ahead and promotes his Slugma. I think that's probably the best decision considering he has two of them on the field. Marcargo's really good against Donphan because it does have the option of one hit KO in it if it wants to by just discarding 4 energies. He goes ahead and rare candies his Tepig into Emboar. I can't remember which version of the build this is, but he experimented with and without Bad Ball. So this might be one of those builds without Bad Ball, because otherwise he would have probably waited for that. He uses Roast Reveal, which is a great draw, a massively huge draw engine for this deck. He goes for the active Volcano, gets Rare Candy, which is very good for him because that's not going to be useful anymore. I top deck a Zekrom, just go straight for it onto the bench because I can start dealing damage to it with Earthquake to power up its Outrage later on in the game. And I go for the, I presume that was a Ponce rather than a Copycat. I've got the communication to get that Zoroark, which is quite important because that Zoro is close to dying from Earthquake damage. So yes, that was very useful. I think I had the switch in hand, so it was tempting to go for the Mega and switch out and kill out the Cleffa because I got the feeling that he wasn't really drawing well, but I wasn't drawing too well either, especially from that Ponce. So I just decided to bench that Smeargle, because if he can kill my Donphan, there's not much I can do back to him, because Zoroark isn't massively useful in this matchup unless it's a Reshiram it's up against. Against Marcargo it can only do 60 damage, so I have to kind of bench that Smeargle to give me some outs to get more Donphans later in the game, which is my current priority. So he goes ahead and fully powers up his Marcargo. He's got 3 energies, which is what it needs to do for its attack. Oh, I might as well state what Marcargo does because not many people would know. It does 60 damage for I think 2 fire and a colorless, and you can discard any number of fire energies attached to Marcargo and do 20 extra damage. So it's a very versatile attack. It can hit from anywhere from 60 plus, so it's a brilliant attack. And if you're running enough energy recovery, it shouldn't really be a problem. And in general, the deck has a great Donphan matchup because Donphan cannot tank against this deck whatsoever. And I remember when Tommy first started using the deck, I could not beat him once with Donphan Machamp, and that was pretty much the very first time I started giving up with the deck. So I go for a double reversal. Thankfully I do get one. I need to bring up that Marcargo and start doing damage to it now because I have no options to one-hit KO it except for a plus power Boufflant. So I have to start doing damage to it now. I know it means sacrificing my Donphan, but I do get the Boufflant down just in case. I haven't really used any DCs in this match because I haven't been able to draw into them, so I do have a lot at my disposal. And I just go for the Earthquake. My Zekrom's now on 2 damage I believe, so it's outraging for 40. He does have the energy retrieval, so that's an easy one-hit KO on my Donphan. And he also powers up the Reshiram in the meantime. I do have the reversal. I'm debating whether to drag up the Reshiram instead and start Zoroark in it. But I do not have a plus power. I didn't think that was quite the best route, and I just wanted to get rid of the Slugma, or the Marcargo. So I go ahead and Juniper. And I do get the Yanmega, which is quite nice, because I don't mind sacrificing Yanmega in this matchup as it won't serve that much purpose. I go ahead and fully power up that Zekrom, and I can bench a Fanfi, and I'm just going to fodder the Zekrom instead, using its Outrage for 40, which is quite handy because Zekrom's not useful in this matchup either. It's mainly a Yanmega counter, because once you get 4 damage counters in it from Earthquakes, you can just start taking out any Yanmega you want with Outrage, which is very handy. So he goes ahead and blue flares for the knockout, and the prize is now at 2-3. I've got the DCE, so I'm going to power up the Buffalon, because if he does get another Marcargo out, which I don't think he can, I'm not too sure. If he does get another Marcargo out, I can easily just take that out. But in this case, I'm fishing for that plus power at the moment, because I do want to one-hit KO that Reshiram, and Zorok is the perfect Pokemon to do that with. So I do believe I get at least a Junk Arm, if not a plus power. Oh, I must have Junk Armed for the plus power, and that's an easy KO. So I am down to 1 prize while he used to take 3. And he doesn't really have an attacker on the field, so it's looking good for me. He does actually have the Bad Ball, so he goes ahead and brings that out, and if he can get that powered up, that's quite threatening to me. But instead he goes ahead and powers up his regular Emboar, because he doesn't really want to be discarding too many fire energies, and he just knocks me out with Heat Crash, I believe that's what it's called. So I don't have many options to one-hit KO it, so I am trying to work out my hand and see if I can get it down to, I think I have to get it down to 2 cards from 6. So I attach to the Smiggle, I bring it out, and I play Switch to bring back out the Yanmega, and then I Junk Arm to get a plus power, use it so that my hand is 2 cards, and then I finish off the game by linear attacking the Cleffa. So yeah, that was a good game, Ben. The matchup was quite interesting in the end. We found it to be, I think in theory it should be around about 50-50. But yeah, it was fun games, and check out next week for the next video. Thanks a lot for watching. See you guys next week.